Was this the year you were finally going to start that money-making podcast and start podcasting on YouTube and growing your business with a podcast, but the year just got away from you? Well, guess what? You got 2 months left, 10 weeks, 60 days. That's the bad news. The good news is you got 2 months left. You got 10 weeks. You have 60 days. And if you create your money-making podcast the way I show you how to make a money-making podcast, then you'll be able to launch it in just 1 hour. And the really great news is that this time of year is a gold mine for podcasters and content creators. So you're really just in the nick of time. My name's Mark Kaye. I'm a professional podcaster. I have 2 podcasts that are in the top 1% of all podcasts worldwide. This is how I make my living, and I help other people do it too. You should probably subscribe to this channel because every single day for the next 2 months, I'm going to be making videos to help you create that money-making podcast and launch it before the new year. So let me tell you, there's 5 reasons right off the bat that this is the best time to start a brand new podcast or start podcasting on YouTube or start creating content of any kind. Because at the holiday season, from November 1st, really from Halloween all the way through Thanksgiving, all the way through Christmas and New Year's, there are things that make you think, oh, I probably shouldn't do anything new, or, oh, this is the worst time to start any kind of new project. But it's the opposite is true. This is the best time of year for you to start a podcast. And I'm going to explain to you why that is right now. Let me start by getting a clean sheet of paper. There are, like I said, there are 5 reasons why now is the best time to start your money-making podcast and why you need to have it in place before January. The first reason is that at the holiday season, a lot of podcasters, let me get a different color. Let me get a red here. This is good. A holiday season, a lot of podcasters take time off. You know, people take time off. Everybody takes time off at the holidays. So podcasters and content creators, these next 2 months, guess what? They are creating less and less content. There is less content being created over these next 2 months. This is the content that the podcasters usually create. They crank it out. This is people that are professional content creators, and they're going away for Thanksgiving. They're hanging out with the family. They're sleeping in. You know, they got that tryptophan, so they're always tired. Maybe they're drinking too much. At Christmas time, forget about it. They're taking off 2 weeks. They're not going to come back until after New Year's. So there is less content being created. And if there's less content out there being created, that means that you have more of a chance of being seen. If you launch a new podcast right now, you are going to have less competition than any other time during the year because your competition is taking time off. They're enjoying the holidays. Now, the really fascinating thing about this is while there is a content deficit, while fewer and fewer people are out there creating content, the content consumers or the people that listen, you know, the listeners to the podcast or the YouTube subscribers, the consumers actually demand more content during the holidays. I drew that the wrong way. You get the idea. The content, they want more content during the holidays. This should be down here. This should be here. So what happens is the demand for content is going up, but the supply of content is going down. So that doubles your opportunity of making a splash during the holidays, because if you're creating content when fewer people are and more people are at home demanding content, which makes sense, right? You know, you're at home, you're hanging out with the relatives, you get bored, you're hiding from grandma because she wants you to rub her bunions or whatever. The football game is boring. So what do? You get out your iPhone, you get out your iPad. At Christmas time, what's the number one most popular gift? A brand new iPhone, a brand new computer. Someone's got a MacBook Air. The first thing they're going to do is go online and look for something to do. Your podcast, your YouTube content, your social media content should be the first thing that they find, and it will be. That is, if you take some time in the next 2 months to create that podcast and build it out so it's ready to go. That's reason number one. You have less competition and you have more demand. And if you start creating content, it's going to put you somewhere right around here within the next 60 days. And that is lightning fast. Now, there's something else. There's something else that is very exciting about this time of year. And that is that people in the holiday season or in the holiday spirit, they're they are planning for next year. They're taking off their time now. They're stuffing themselves. But in January, they are going to be ready to go with those life-changing New Year's resolutions. They're going to wait till January, but come January 1st, or I guess January 2nd, because January 1st, everyone's hungover, right? Isn't that the thing? That January 1st, you wake up like at noon because you were up till like 2 in the morning. So January 2nd or January 3rd even, they're going to sit down and they're going to start changing their lives for the better. Maybe they're going to lose weight. Maybe they're going to save more money. Maybe they're going to start a business and try to make more money. Maybe they're going to finally, train their dog. Maybe they're going to fall in love. Maybe this is the year they're going to start having kids or get their kids to act not like big jerks. Whatever it is, they have some resolution or a list of them, and they're waiting until January. Now, here's the problem. If your resolution is to start that podcast and you wait until January to start your podcast, well, everyone else who's already looking for places to go and find information about positive change, whatever it happens to be, the first thing they're going to do is they're going to hit the Google, they're going to hit the YouTube, and they're going to look for podcasts or information on weight loss. They're going to try to find information on real estate investing because that's something they always wanted to do. They're going to try to find information about how to, build that business that they always wanted to build, or how to find love. That's what they want to do. They want to finally be happy by decluttering their personal space. Whatever it is you're doing your podcast about, there are going to be people on January 1st that are looking for that information. You can't wait. If you wait till January 1st, you're too late. If you wait, you're too late. You've got to spend the next 2 months setting up your podcast, setting up your YouTube channel, creating content, getting it out there, because you are going to see a mad dash of people looking for the information that you have, the solutions to their problems that you already know. They're going to be looking for you, and if you're not there to tell them how to fix their problems or how to find their solutions or how to take advantage of your help, your products, your offers, if you're not there to say, hey, if you give me this money, I'll help you with your problem, they're going to find someone else who is. Somebody who already has a podcast or some content that's already up. So here's the deal. You've got December. You've got November. And like I said before, it takes 1 hour to launch your money-making podcast. You can turn your words into wealth in 60 minutes. 1 hour leaves you, 60 days and 23 hours to create episodes and content and get your YouTube channel up there and get products and get calendars and get whatever you need and put a mechanism in place so that come January, when somebody goes and looks for you, not only are you going to be there, but you're going to have 2 dozen episodes for them to choose from. They're going to be able to get to know you. They're going to be able to binge you. They're going to be able to walk away really, truly understanding that you are the answer to their prayers. And all it's going to take is the next 2 months of you setting up a system so that come January, they're ready to go. They're ready to go, and they know that you're their go-to person for whatever problem it is they're facing. So that's number 3. Number 1 is there's fewer content creators creating content, giving us a content deficit. Number 2 is there's more consumers out there looking for content, which means there's way more demand. And number 3 is waiting till January is too late. If you wait, you're too late. You've got to have everything in place by January 1st, because that's when the gold rush happens. That's when all of those resolution seekers are going to start trying to fix their problems, and they're going to be looking for someone just like you, which brings us to number 4. Number 4 is that at the holiday season, people spend money. People spend money. Lots and lots of money. People wait all year for the holidays so that they can spend money. People save up money for this time of year just so they can spend money. People start credit cards this time of year just so they can buy stuff for people that they like. And oftentimes people that they don't like. They are in a spending mindset. And it doesn't matter if it's a gift for their mom or their dad or their in-laws. It doesn't matter if it's a toy for the kids or video games or an Xbox. It doesn't matter if it's a piece of jewelry for their spouse. They are going to spend money. And oftentimes they will spend money on themselves. In fact, most people spend money on themselves at the holidays. So if you're looking for new customers, having a podcast out there, letting people know about your products and your services and your offers and your business is the best thing you can do, because people are ready to plunk down their hard-earned cash. And if you think about this, I went to the hardware store. I went to Home Depot last year to get garland or lights for the Christmas tree, and I walked out with a brand new drill. For myself, not for anyone else. Why? Because I was spending money anyway. I needed a new drill. It was Christmas. It was probably on sale, which is another great reason to start your podcast. Because if you're looking for equipment, if you're looking for, a fancy microphone or a camera, which you totally don't need, by the way, all you need to start your content creation business, your podcast, your YouTube channel, is a phone. If you've got one of these, which, let's face it, you're probably watching me on one right now. If you've got one of these, you have everything you need to start your money-making podcast. I started my podcast, both of them, on this phone. I have a podcast, Mark K Saves the Republic. It's one of the top 1% of podcasts in the entire world. And this podcast, which has millions and millions of downloads, which earns me hundreds of thousands of dollars, which has millions of listeners all over the world. This podcast, which finances my entire life, was started on one of these. And you can do the exact same thing, like I said, in about an hour. And that way you can be ready when those customers who are already spending money are ready to spend money with you. This is one of the best reasons to start your podcast now, because people are ready to buy. They're actually less likely to buy at the beginning of the year because they're paying off all their Christmas bills. By February or March, people are drowning in debt. They're planning for spring break. Nowadays, people are spending tons, and it's not just small ticket items, it's big ticket items. If you're a coach, if you have a large ticket program, or if you're a chiropractor and you have some kind of health plan for spinal injuries or whatever, if you own a spa and you want to get somebody on a membership, there's never been a better time than right now, because people are buying big ticket items for themselves, for their friends and family members. And of course, they're doing it again because they're planning for the future. They're planning for January. And this is a reason to buy. Also, like I said, you can pick up some sweet discounts for yourself if you're looking for some podcast equipment. That's reason number 4. And then reason number 5, probably the best reason, is that it only takes 1 hour to launch your money-making podcast. It's true. It only takes 1 hour to launch a money-making podcast. All you need, and podcasting, people don't realize this, podcasting is no harder than any other form of social media. In fact, podcasting is a form of social media. Podcasting is just like putting a video up on YouTube. It's just like posting a picture on Facebook. It's the same exact concept. You're building an audience with content you create. Only podcasts, for whatever reason, come with a little bit more prestige. When you host a podcast, you're not just posting on Facebook or LinkedIn. You're hosting a show. That's what a podcast really is. A podcast is really a show. And when you have a show, when you host a show, that puts you in an upper echelon of people. And when you host a show and you're elite and you have the opportunity to book guests on your show, and when you have the opportunity to broadcast live with your show, man, you meet people and you get interviews and you start relationships and you get access to things you never thought you'd have access to before. And there's a lot of things around the holiday season you might want to get special access to. There's a lot of people around the holiday season you might want to interview. And they're more than willing to interview with somebody who has a show, who has a podcast. Try calling up somebody who's famous in your industry, or call up one of your like Dream 100. You know, there's those Dream 100 people that you've always wanted to work with. You've always wanted to talk to them. Call them up and say, hey, can I interview you for my Twitter or my X? See what they say. That you probably won't even get a call back. But if you say, hey, I host the #1 pod show on real estate investing for homeowners who are make $1 million or more every year, and they've pinpointed you as one of the people they'd most like to hear from, can I interview you? It'd be opening you up to a huge audience of people that might actually become customers of yours. Yeah, that's a winning, same exact thing. Twitter, podcasting, very similar concepts, but one comes with power and prestige and puts you above the rest. It's really, really exciting. Podcasts are also a great way to multi-purpose your content, because when you create a podcast, this, by the way, is an audio, it's a horrible looking audio file, but when you create an audio file, you're not only creating a podcast, but you can turn on a camera. Let me draw a camera. You can also turn on a camera. And once you turn on that camera, guess what? Not only do you have a podcast, but now you have a podcast and you have a 1 hour long form video that you can put up on YouTube, or you can put that up on Facebook, or you can put that up wherever you want. And you can put it on X, because X loves long form video. And then you can take that and you can cut it up into little short videos that are perfect for Reels and Shorts and TikTok and everything else. And then you could take this 1 hour podcast and you could transcribe it, and you could use it as a blog post. You could use it as an article with your little face on it. You could use it on X. You could cut it into, I do this all the time. I'll take my podcasts and I'll put them into ChatGPT and say, give me like 20 really cool quotes that I said that I wanted, that I can use across my platforms. And I'll put them on Facebook and X and everywhere. And they do really, really well. You could even take your transcript and you could turn it into, if you have 10 transcripts, you could turn that into a book. You could very easily turn your podcast, take 10 solid podcasts, have them transcribed. You could turn them into a book. And now, not only do you have great content, but you've got a product. And that's one of the many ways in 1 hour, you can create a money-making podcast. And like I said before, this time of year is a gold mine. It's a gold mine for podcasters and content creators for all of those reasons that I mentioned above. Here, you want a refresher? Here, we'll go through it one more time. Here we go. One more time. 5 reasons why now's the best time to create your podcast. Podcasters are taking time off, so there is a content deficit. If you start creating content, there are fewer people competing with you. Consumers are taking time off. They're spending more time on their phones. They're spending more time surfing the web. There's demand for more content and less content being created. The odds of you being seen increase dramatically. Also, there are people in January who are going to want to talk to you about the ways you can help them with all of their resolutions. If you take November and December to create that money-making podcast and put in place a system where these people can find you, learn from you, trust you, know you, decide that yes, you're the person they should give their money to, then you are going to be ready to go in January. If you wait for January, if your New Year's resolution is finally to start that podcast and you wait till New Year's, you got to do it now. New Year's resolution should always start in October or November. That's my motto. Next up, people are out there spending money. They've got lots of money to spend. They're in a spending mindset. They think, what's another couple $100 on something that I want for myself? Give them something to spend their money on, because they're out there spending money. And then finally, you can create a podcast in 1 hour. You can have a show, and along with it, you can have all this other great content that you can share across platforms, that you can use to promote yourself, that you can use to make even more money. And most importantly, it gives you that power, that prestige, that elite status that only having a show can give you. When you have a show, you get opportunities and relationships that you never even thought possible. Now, if you don't have a podcast, there's a link below that will help you start a podcast in just 1 hour. I'll show you exactly how to do it. If you already have a podcast, but it's not making money, click that same link below and we can help you out. So if you don't have a money-making podcast and want one, or you have a podcast and you want it to make money, check the link in the description, because we're going to help you out. If you're still not convinced that this is for you, or if you're still not convinced that, this is going to be something that's going to benefit me, if you don't know yet that podcasting is something you must be doing as an influencer and business owner in this day and age, in the information age, then watch this video here. Where am I going to put? I'm going to put it here. Watch this video here. This video is about an 18-year-old kid who started a podcast and literally changed the world.